Good morning, everyone. My name is Joseph Oyebola, and in this presentation, we will be looking at the topic, the Scrum Master. So, who is a Scrum Master? What are the roles and responsibilities of a Scrum Master? What are the qualities of a Scrum Master? Who is a product owner? And lastly, who are the development team? So, the product owner and the development team, together with the Scrum Master, consist of the three major roles as recognized by the Scrum Guide. Uh, so Scrum Masters are the facilitators of Scrum. We call Scrum Masters servant leaders because as Scrum Masters, you serve your team and you also lead them. As Scrum Master, you do not lead by enforcing processes. Instead, you lead by influencing the team. Therefore, as a Scrum Master, you have no authority over the team. So, Scrum Masters are the facilitators of Scrum. And like we all know, Scrum is the lightweight framework with a focus on time-boxed iterations called sprints. So Scrum Master facilitates all communication and collaboration between the management and development team in the organization. As facilitators, Scrum Master act as coaches to the rest of the team. Servant leader as described in the Scrum Guide. So as a Scrum Master, you are there to guide the team. You ensure that they are not overloaded with work, and you also remove any blockers that might slow down the delivery of their work. And amongst many other things, a Scrum Master, on a day-to-day, so their responsibility cuts across, fostering communication. So majority of what a Scrum Master does is to, foster communications amongst, team members, among, the organization to ensure that there is an easy flow, of communication. Like everybody gets the information they are meant to get to be able to effectively deliver on their jobs. So the Scrum Master also protects the team, right? He said it acts as a buffer for disruptive PMs and management. So basically, in terms of protection, so the Scrum Master protects the team from, overcommitting, right? So when the team are, seated during sprint planning, to go into a new sprint, the Scrum Master ensure that development team does not commit more than they can deliver, right? And it also protects the team, you know, from from ensuring that the management, the organization is not overloading the development team with, more than they can do, right? So another, responsibility is that of tool maintenance, right? Basically, so as a Scrum Master, you will support, the team with tools, tools that the organization use in their job delivery. Some organizations will settle for tools such as Jira, Axio DevOps, Figma, Balsamic, and all of those tools. So let's say a new member joins the team, right? It's the responsibility of the Scrum Master to grant such member access to the work tools, to the work environment needed to, carry out their responsibilities, right? Scrum Masters are also responsible for reporting, right? So report basically is just an overview of the progress the team has made. So as a Scrum Master, you support with the creation of burn down charts, velocity, yeah, different graphs to measure metrics and progress to the stakeholders, and meeting facilitations. So unarguably, this is one of the the most crucial, if I may say, responsibility of the Scrum Master. So the Scrum Master facilitates, the Scrum ceremonies. We have the daily stand up. He ensures that the team is gathered and they have their daily stand up for 15 minutes every day in the same place. Right, especially when the team, is just forming. So it's the responsibility of the Scrum Master to ensure that, they are living Scrum. And one of the um, one of the ways to live Scrum is to, have the daily stand-up, which is 15 minutes, where um, development team members come to discuss what they did yesterday, what they were able to achieve, the impediments, the encounter, and what they plan to do, for that very day. So it facilitates retrospective, sprint planning, sprint review, and every other, meeting within the Scrum team. So another one is agile coaching. So a Scrum Master coaches the team and organization on Scrum and its best practices. So it is the responsibility of the Scrum Master to ensure that members of the team and of course the organization at large knows about Scrum, and they are also, living Scrum. So next, it says team support. So Scrum Master supports the team when they have disagreement. Yes, from settling disagreement to coffee run. So basically, I don't think coffee run should be in this. You don't do a coffee run for the team. But of course, on a more serious note, you support the team when they have disagreement. You are there to, to ensure that there is conflict resolution. You tend to identify the big elephant in the room. You know, you just support the team basically for everything and anything they need to be successful in delivering value, right? So remove blockers. Scrum Masters also remove blockers. So any impediment or blockers, that the team might be facing, it is the duty and responsibility of the Scrum Master to remove it. However, when the team is already forming, like growing into maturity, a Scrum Master needs to ensure that the team becomes self-organized, right? They can be independent. So when a development team member comes to the Scrum Master and say, "Oh, this is the impediment I am, that I am having," the Scrum Master should be able to say, "So what have you done to ensure that you take this out, you remove this, right?" So you need to ensure that you are not babysitting the team. You want them to be independent and do things all by themselves. However, if there are things they've made attempt to do, but they are unable to do, then it is really the responsibility of the Scrum Master to ensure that these blockers are removed so that the team can effectively deliver on their jobs. So we move to the responsibility of Scrum Masters. So in the ideal agile world, a team would manage its own processes and tools. However, it's been discovered that many teams transitioning to agile rely on the Scrum Master as the owner of their processes. It takes time and authority to diffuse through the team. In this transformative context, the role can be as lightweight as scheduling the Scrum ceremony or as involved as any other Scrum team members. Hence, Scrum Master performs the following roles. Kindly note that this is not an exhaustive list of responsibility. So like we said earlier, I think we've discussed this earlier. We talked about Scrum Master coaching the team members and of course the organization. So the Scrum Master ensures that the team is adequately trained to understand and implement agile processes, right? So stand up, it facilitates stands ups or daily Scrum as needed. Iteration, sprint planning meetings, so it protects the team from overcommitting and scope creep. We discussed this earlier. It aids in estimation and subtask creation. Then we move to sprint review. So the Scrum Master participates in meeting and capture feedback. So when there is a sprint review or sprint demo, right, or show and tell, as they would say in the corporate world. So the Scrum Master is there to ensure that there is a smooth running of the sprint review and capture every feedback as necessary, right, and ensure that the development team is demonstrating the right product to the stakeholder, right? So next is retrospective. So during the retrospective, so retrospective basically is when happens after the sprint review, right? So a sprint has ended and there is a retros. the team gathers together and they want to review how well they've done in the previous sprint. So what they were able to do well, what they could have done better, the kind of lessons they are taking into the next sprint, basically. So they talk about it. And so it's the duty and responsibility of the Scrum Master to also facilitate this particular ceremony, basically. So Scrum Master also remove roadblocks, right? So as discussed earlier, Scrum Master aids the team by eliminating external blockers and managing internal roadblocks through process or workflow improvement. So then we move to the qualities of Scrum Masters. So a Scrum Master needs to come with diverse of qualities to be ensured to deliver effectively on the team. So number one on the list is communication. Communication, this cannot be overemphasized. So communication is a given in any role. However, as a Scrum Master, you are listening, you are comprehending, you are repeating, summarizing, observing, writing, simplifying, critiquing, suggesting, asserting, charting, presenting, all in one, basically. Each conversation merits its own synergy and skills. So what we are saying here is thus, as a Scrum Master, you should be a great communicator, right? You wear many cape in the place of communication, right? And top of the list is active listening. You need to listen, you need to understand, you need to take notes, you need to summarize, because people need to get the exact information that you are giving them. People need to trust you. The development team needs to trust you enough to communicate with you, knowing fully well that when they have this conversation with you, especially when they discuss the issues or the challenges they are facing, they know you will definitely come up with a solution. Right. So the Scrum Master also takes responsibility. Right. As a Scrum Master, you are a representative of your team. If you are able to build and earn their trust, then you should be able to stand up for them and be proud to present them, whether they have achieved success or lesser success. So, right. So the team looks up to the Scrum Master to take up the responsibility of representing them, before the management in the organization. So for them to lay such responsibility on you, they need to trust you. So the first thing a Scrum Master wants to look out for is to build solid relationship with the team and apparently build trust. So when people trust you, then they can go to sleep with their two eyes closed, knowing fully well that you will be responsible for them. So the third one says, appreciate the goodness. It says then, as human, we can be judgmental, but to go beyond and above in appreciating your team members' effort and allowing them to progress and succeed takes real leadership that will command the respect of your team. So basically, you see, a Scrum Master does not find fault in any member of the team, right? So a Scrum Master does not condemn. So it's very imperative that, you give your team members accolade, you appreciate them from time to time, because that alone, it's a motivation on its own. So when you do that, they are willing to do more. They are willing to commit, into ensuring that they deliver on their commitment, basically. Right. Then we have neutrality. It says being neutral is not the same as being diplomatic. For any challenge, decisions should be taken on the basis of validation and merit instead of who you are friends with. This can lead to be very tough decisions. So basically, as a Scrum Master, you need to be the friend of everyone on the team. You don't have to have a best friend on the team and show favor to someone, right, as against other, right? So you need to be extremely neutral. You need to belong to everybody, if I may say, right? You don't have to rate someone higher than the other in the team. You don't have to say, this is my friend, I am going to give you a preferential treatment. No, everybody needs to know that you are for them and you are not for anybody in particular. So then it says leadership without power. So earlier on during my introduction, I said the Scrum Master has no authority over the team. Imagine leadership, a leader without power. So that is who a Scrum Master is. He's just there to guide the team. He's there to provide suggestion and advise the team to ensure that they are moving in the right direction. He is not giving orders. So it says generally the Scrum Master assumes some level of control in the team. However, in this case, it is directional leader who cannot punish when team member goes astray. Hence, it's key to build trust and show the importance of following a decision which can be quite demanding and compared to a leader who can force decision, right? Then the next one, detail as needed. As a Scrum Master can be involved in a very detailed decision which determines the solution to a problem in a discussion that maps the strategy of an implementation. Regardless of the level of details, you should be able to switch gears. Multitasker. A Scrum Master is also a multitasker. So assuming an ideal team of 7 plus minus 2. So what this basically means is that 7 plus minus 2, a Scrum team can consist of 7 team member, 9 team member, or 5 team member. You are responsible for running a machine today and planning for tomorrow, which accessing events of yesterday. Add this to mix regulatory and managerial catch-ups and planning for the next sprint and release. You got to be good at juggling things together, and of course, time management. Gauge importance. Rome was not built in a day, but it's key to keep accessing what is important at any given time. Prioritizing and managing expectations is important to deliver the best MVP and to maintain good relations. Right. Lighthearted. All works and no fun makes a Scrum Master very dull indeed. So it might be a daunting task being a Scrum Master, handling multiple situations at the same time, putting in different things to ensure that the teams are working well. But the truth is this, as a Scrum Master, you need to have fun while at it, right? You need to sit back, you need to have fun with the team, you need to create an atmosphere, an environment of fun, right? Having fun is not just for you, but also for your team. Just having some time in the sprint when the team is not thinking about work can be energizing and rewarding. So Scrum Master would tend to, introduce some kind of games into the sprint to ensure that people are relaxed, to ensure that people are not, carrying long face because, it's all about work, 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 work. You want to divert your mind to something, something simpler, something light-hearted, so that people can then get rejuvenated and, be eager to come back to work. It says at the same time, no problem is a big problem. A cool mind leads to better focus and better problem solving experience. And lastly, problem solver. A Scrum Master is a problem solver. Like we've talked about, who can better be a problem solver if not someone that looks out for the team and always, remove impediments, remove blockers to ensure that nothing is standing on the team's way. So if you like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, being a Scrum Master will be super fun, right? Then we move to the Scrum team. Within the Scrum framework, all work delivered to the customer is done by a dedicated Scrum team. Excuse me. Team is a collection of individuals working together to deliver the requested and committed product increments. A Scrum team consists of 3 roles in a Scrum project, not less and no more. Right. So according to the Scrum guide, a Scrum team consists of just 3 roles, right? So we can't have any sub role, any additional role outside of these 3 roles. So it says we are not allowed to define any other roles because it is harmful to the unity of the team, and it doesn't align with Scrum philosophy. A Scrum team consists of the three roles. We have the product owner, we have the Scrum Master, and we have the development team. So we've talked elaborately, about the Scrum Master. So then we will be moving to talk about the product owner and the development team. So who is the product owner? In Scrum methodology, the Scrum product owner is usually a project key stakeholder, typically someone from marketing or product management, or the lead user of a system. They have a deep understanding of users, the marketplace, competitors, and trends. The Scrum Guide states that the product owner is accountable for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the Scrum team. So when the Scrum team produces a work or produces a product or develops a product, so it is the responsibility of the product owner to maximize the value of that product, right? How this is done may vary widely across organizations, Scrum teams, and individuals. So one of the key responsibility of the product owner is managing the product backlog, right? The prioritized feature list of the product. The Scrum product owner prioritizes work during the sprint planning meetings and motivate the team with clear goals, answering any question. So during the sprint planning meeting, it's very imperative that the product owner is available, readily available to take questions from the development team, right? It needs to be there because the development team cannot just rely on what is on the backlog, on the sprint backlog, like the user stories and the features and for them to, go ahead and produce what they are supposed to build, right? So the onus is on the product owner to be available, to take questions that the development team is feeding at that particular point in time so that there can be a clear communication and a perfect understanding of the expectation of the product they are building, right? So the development team decide how much work they can do, taking the item from the top of the product backlog. So no one can influence development team to say, this is what you are doing. So it's a collective responsibility of the development team to sit down and agree on what they can do and commit to it and put it into their sprint backlog. Right. So then we move to the development team. Finally. So the development team, what are the characteristics of a development team? So there are some salient characteristics of a development team. The most important ones are listed below. They are self-organizing. So I mentioned earlier that the Scrum team are self-organizing. No one, not even the Scrum Master, direct the development team on how to convert product backlog into increment of potentially releasable functionality. So you don't tell them what to put into the backlog, right? They sit down, they pick it, they choose it, and they commit to it, and they deliver it, right? So development team are generally cross-functional, right? So it comprises of members with varied skills. So you are looking at the development team, you are looking at the software engineer, the solution architect, you are looking at the product design, you are looking at the testers, you are looking at the data engineer, you are looking at virtually everyone within the tech team, right? So you don't say because this person is a product designer, he is not part of the development team. That's not true. According to the Scrum Guide, whoever they are all part of the development team, right? So he said, as a team, these combined skill sets are necessary to create a product increment. Development team members do not have individual titles. So I just discussed that now. So each member is identified only as a part of the development team, regardless of the work being performed by the person. Scrum recognizes no sub-team in the development team, right? So we've also elaborated on this earlier on. So you don't have a part of the development team sitting somewhere and you say this is a sub-team of the development team. No, although it may be formed of domains like testing, business analyst, operations, architecture. But when you look at all of these people, they still form what we know as the development team. So the development team bears accountability of a project, not individual team members. So what this is saying is basically, if the development team succeed on a project, the accolade goes to them. And if they fail on a project, no one single person can be blamed for that failure, right? So if there is someone who is going to throw a blame, the development team catches the sub, altogether. So I have come to the end of this presentation. Thank you and see you in class.